What is happening, guys? Welcome back to another video here at Wicked Garage. You can see in front of me we're working on the 2025 F450 service body build. And before you get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already and you're enjoying the series. Like, comment, and share, and let's get right into it. So you can see we got most of the body work, started and sort of finished, but there's still a lot more that we have to go over and fine tune and really, get looking nice. So there's also the back part that we have to get done, as well as the cradles for the oxygen bottles, the box, the hooser type bar that comes out, and we have to get the aluminum mud flaps drilled and situated on here as well. So alright guys, so we got the tailgate off. As you can see, we worked on it. We just have to weld up the rest of it, and you can see there is 3 holes on it. That is for the Outlaw Millwright's text to go on in aluminum. We're going to make a aluminum offset plate. So once this is all done, that'll be brushed in like a brushed aluminum with like a satin finish almost. Over here we have the 2 brackets. Obviously the tailgate comes up, pins into here, and then there is a tailgate piece that holds it up, and it's sort of like a little scissor, but works absolutely perfect. And we have that piece that extends over to cover these sides, so it sort of is like a regular tailgate that you get on other service bodies, just my own style with 2 latch pins. So works out really well. Got a lot of the body work done all around. As you can see, still some more that needs to be done, but essentially everything's good. Back here looks beautiful, and then on this side he's got a little bit left, but it's coming together. It's just a lot of little things. And over on the table, I can show you, we got our mounts for the oxyacetylene setup, and we got our 6 mounts for each side in between the side of the utility body and the box that goes in the middle. And then this will be another piece that actually gets put on a piece of tube to hold the 2 acetylene bottles behind the welder. And then we will also be making a remote mount for the gauges. Just haven't gotten that far yet. I'm gonna take these all off tomorrow, clean them up, weld them all up so that they're all done, and then he can finish the rest of the body work on this truck, get it all set, and we can hopefully get that all done in here. and then we'll be ready to prime and raptor. Obviously, I've said that for probably a week now, a little over a week, but you know, it's just the little things that add up that you don't really realize. And we're just checking off every single thing, double checking, triple checking, making sure everything's done. We don't want to have to drill any more holes or, you know, fab anything or mess with anything when this is all painted and everything. So. Alright guys, we have the two acetylene holders for the two bottles. Obviously one's going to be top, one's going to be bottom. And then we will mount these on a 2x3, and then we'll have a remote mount set up on the side. These are for the oxygen bottles that are going to go in the back of the bed, which I'll go over now and show you what's going on there. So this is the back, and obviously this is where the oxygen bottles are going to go in between. So we have to center this out. This is going to get sanded and painted, and then we're going to be putting the 3 cradles on there. We'll weld some bolt hinges on the side of this for the door to come down, put a piece of angle here. We'll have this open, or like a cap or something, maybe swing up or something like that, and then we'll have the back closed, and that'll come out. The acetylene bottles will sit in like a little nook right there, and then all the hoses will go out and over and up and everything to the remote mount up on top. The welder is going to be going on this as well. This is a 1,200 pound capacity on the top. It's pretty sturdy for what it is, and very heavy. So that'll be all good, and then we will have our Hoosier type modified piece to pull out and swing out for the oxy acetylene hose. Other than that, he's gonna put other stuff in a drawer, probably like rigging stuff like clevises and you know, straps and stuff like that, that he doesn't hang in there. But yeah, that is the plan, and that is what we're going to do right now. We got to drill all the holes out, center this up, drill all the holes out, and then drill the holes for all of the cradles, and then figure out the length and drill all the holes for that as well. Alright guys, I'm going to give you a little update on the service body build. As you can see, we were doing body work, trying to get it all finished up and everything. We are working on the mud flaps today. We are also working on getting everything sort of done for the oxygen cradle mounting and everything. We have to have these taken off, weld a plate on there with a nut on the bottom, and then we're gonna have something that clamps down onto the top of the bottle and goes around, just another cradle on the little aluminum piece that we're gonna do. So we're gonna do a brushed aluminum 1/4 inch plate over top of it. This will be, you know, just to hold up the remnants, and you can step on it and everything, and it'll be a little bit over on this as well. We'll have 3, so these 2 will be on the bottom, and then obviously they'll have their own mounts on there. And then the middle one is just sort of a support, so when you're stepping, it doesn't flex down in that weird area or the gap in there. This is the box that's going to be going in the back. I have the drawer out right now. The welder is going to be sitting on top. Then we're going to have the sort of a Hoosier type bar, my own type of bar, I guess you can say, but it'll be with a piece of square stock, you know, hitch tubing, and you'll be able to unpin it, pull it out, and then swing it out, and you'll have your oxy acetylene hose right up there. On the back, we will have the acetylene, 2 bottles of acetylene in the back mounted, and that'll be on a post mount with 2-tier level, and then we'll have a remote mount on the side for the gauges. And then all the hoses, like down here, instead of having to constantly you know, hook up to those and everything, we'll have hoses going up to the remote switch to like a little manifold, and you'll be able to turn on one or turn on both depending on what you want to do, and then get that all situated essentially. Over here, this is what we just cut. This is the end caps that go on the end that cover the oxygen cap on the back side. So if he puts any load back there, it'll be sort of blocked off, so you don't have to worry about hitting the valve or anything like that. Plus, we're gonna have a hose coming out of it, so obviously we want to protect everything that we can. I'm gonna get this all off, and then we got to put the aluminum sheet on. I'm trying to get all the cutting done today and get everything else, you know, situated. Over here, you can see we have the welding lead setup, but I did change it. The last video you saw that, I'm scrapping that. That's not going to work the way I wanted to. I went and got a DOM pipe, and I'm going to make something that just pins into this, and then you'll just be able to turn it to go that way. So it's the same concept. It's just a little bit better of a design, and I think that'll be a lot nicer. Everything else is going to stay the same on this. I mean, the only thing I'm changing is where the leads are. So we're just going to have the T on here. So that top's going to have to get cut off and welded onto here. And then we're going to have to do some work on this, which isn't a big deal. You'll still have your pockets for your storage and underneath. And then these are the clamps that I was talking about that are going to be going on there. This will bolt onto the aluminum plate, and then we'll have a tab going across to where you can bolt down the clamp to. So it'll actually clamp down. We'll have holes in the aluminum so that you can just put a socket down in there, rip it out, and you're good. This is a acetylene setup. This is pretty much a 2-tier, so you'll be able to strap around on top and the bottom, and then that'll secure the acetylene. That'll be on a 2x3 post, and that is the base plate for it, so that'll get bolted down with 4 bolts. Anything else? Bumpers looking good. We got that all done. That's the bodywork's all done on that. I got a few things I gotta weld on, a few studs for wire management that I forgot about, and just drill out holes for the light boxes. Other than that, it's a lot of small things, and just takes a long time. When you think you're ready for paint, you're not, because you got 10 other things that you're racking your brain on. You're redesigning, you're scrapping. I've messed around with this so much that I pretty much did probably a work for a year on this. It's a lot of work. Anything custom, trying to get it just right, and the customer understands, and I'm sure you guys understand that, or watching that, are into fabrication and everything. Custom stuff takes time, and it's really complicated to get everything right the first time. It doesn't matter how good you are, you're always going to redesign, but it'll come out in the end beautiful. So we just put on the mud flaps, drilled out the holes, straightened everything by eye, made sure everything looked good. We got 3 bolts in the fender right there, and then there's 3 bolts on the bracket, which has a spacer, and then the bracket that goes to the inner fender. So that'll get welded, and then it's the same on the other side. You see what I did, how to bend this. Don't have a roller or anything, so I just sort of put it over a piece of block, and it literally did exactly how I wanted it to bend. So you can play with it and do that with more with aluminum rather than steel. Steel's a little more difficult to work with, but yeah, I think they look really good. I think once they're all brushed up and looking good and all finished, it'll look really nice, and it'll add to all the aluminum that's going to be all over the entire truck. So just the little things that we're trying to get done. And obviously we're not going to be painting in this video, so unfortunately it sort of got pushed back a week because there is all the little things. You see me do all the brackets in here, draw out the sides, the braces, and figure out everything else. It's just a lot of figuring out and nothing goes to plan. So you just go with the flow and don't sacrifice your finish to just finish earlier. So all right, guys, we got everything cleaned up. We got the bumper over here. This has to get sanded tomorrow and cleaned up a little bit, as well as the bodywork has to be finished on this. Now, we were gonna paint in this video, but obviously things got pushed, and I am not making these delays. I don't want the delays. It's just there's a lot of little things that add up with time, and there's not a lot of time in the day. And my dad helps me, you know, as much as he can. So it is what it is. Thankfully, the customer is understanding and he sees what we're putting into this. And we really want to make this, you know, really special for him. You know, like we do with all of our customers, everything is unique. And, you know, we try to make it the best possible with what we're given. Obviously, we don't have any fancy brakes or anything like that. We got an older CNC plasma table that we got about 8 years ago. You know, our makeshift brake press. We go up to our local steel place, get all of our edges bent and everything and rolled. Whatever we can do in-house, we do here. But hopefully in the future, I'll be able to do all this stuff and make it even 10 times better. But it is a lot of work, and I'm glad I video this and I started a channel, because you don't really know how much time gets involved. The customer doesn't know how much time is really involved until they actually see me putting out videos or showing them like, hey, this took this amount of time. You know, I had to redesign this, I had to do this didn't work, so I had to redesign that, and you wanted this and you wanted that, and you know, have to make everything work in conjunction with what the customer wants and what we can do. We're fitting a lot in a small package, and I'm sure you can see that. And there's just a lot of parts. So that is why we can't paint everything at once. And that is also why it's going to be a 2-part series in painting. But once all that stuff is pretty much sanded, we're going to prime and Raptor line everything and then let it sit for a day. Then we'll come in, we'll sand everything, and we'll really check, all the body work, make sure it's all good. And then if we have to do anything else, we'll do it in between. Then we'll reprime, and then we'll base coat, clear coat. It's a long process. It sounds easy and simple. It's not. That's probably a week's worth of work just to do these two. And then we have to do the tailgate and the doors next. And then all the little parts, which are over here. And there's some that aren't even made yet, because we have to have these parts on in order to make those. We have to have other parts and everything sort of mounted to make everything work in conjunction with one another. We have our acetylene mount, our lead drawer slide out, our tailgate. We have the drawer that goes in the back, which the welder mounts on. That has to be all primed and Raptor lined. These are our oxygen mounts. We still didn't make the step plate. What's going to happen with that is we're going to make little horseshoe accesses, and then this is like a clamp, a pressure clamp, and it has 2 bolts, so one on each side obviously. But all you do to change the bottles and access that panel is it's going to be a piece of aluminum. It's going to come to about here, because this side's going to be a little door that slides down, slam latches down, so that when he gets to a job he can open up the tank instead of leaving it on all the time. But it'll be bolted to this. They just unscrew these or unbolt them, and then that whole lid sort of pulls off, and then he can lift it up, roll it right onto the dock, roll the new one on, drop it down, put that back down, and everything's in place. This is what I'm talking about. You got to really think about how everything's going to work with one another. And it's just a lot of head time, a lot of drawing time, a lot of, R&D work. But it's a passion. Right now, I'm surviving. I'm helping my family a little bit. I mean, I'm not killing it, but there's a lot of time in all these builds, and they keep getting crazier and crazier. This is the absolute craziest build I've ever done, but also the absolutely coolest and wicked bed that I've ever done. And I love it. I love doing this. I love when you finally see the finished product, and I hope you guys are going to love it. I mean, we got a lot of lights. We got tractor lighting on this, and it's all going to be on the bottom. So these are all going to go on there. There's parking sensors that we still got to figure out, strobes that we have to put in, rear cameras. That's what I'm talking about, a lot of stuff. And I'm just glad you guys are enjoying the videos, the series. I am not dragging this out. And I'm saying that over and over again, but I'm not trying to drag this out. I don't want to drag it out. It's taking this long. This is how much work is involved in doing stuff like this. You don't get paid all your time. So don't think that I'm getting, my time every single day. If I put 12 hours in every single day, 6 days a week for 5 weeks, I'm not making more than minimum wage, most likely. Well, I would say I'm probably making like $25, $30 an hour. So I'm making like if I was to go to a job or something like that, but nothing crazy right now, at least, because obviously I'm still small. I'm a small business that's trying to make his name. And it's really, really hard to be out there. You have to outdo everybody else. You have to really build a clientele, a customer base, and show what you can do. And that's the whole reason why I built this channel. This is to showcase the work that I do and what we can do as a company. So hopefully one day I'll have a big shop and I'll have 10 of these going on with different builds, and have employees that
are at my mind level, you know, and expectations to do everything. Like, I would love to have 10 more of me so that we can get this done faster, so that I can have somebody drawing, I can have somebody cutting, I can have somebody bending, and it can all get done in a certain amount of time. And it's a lot. But I talked enough, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Look out for the next ones, because it's only going to get crazier as we put this back together and it's all finished. And like I said, thank you for all the support. I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and peace out.